Hello and welcome to Okay, I Said Too Much podcast. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast. I'm super excited to be here this week. I really want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who liked, commented, shared, listened to the first episode. I can't thank you enough. I literally cannot say thank you enough. And I really want to start out this week's episode by saying that and really touch on that because it was just amazing. Way better than I could ever imagine it to be. It was a great first week. The first episode launched last night. Well, yesterday. And now I am recording next week's episode today. So very, very busy, but I'm amazed. I'm truly humbled. I didn't think so many people would tune in. I got around 50 listeners just yesterday, and just truly amazing. Truly amazing. So thank you guys so much. It was great. It was very, very great, and I'm super thankful. So let's jump right into today's episode. In today's episode, we are talking about all the things that worry me about getting older. Title of this episode is I'm almost 30 and I'm freaking out. But it really isn't the 30 that is hard. I think 30 is going to be great. I'm so excited for 30. I think what we're really talking about today is everything, the years that lead up to 30. That 27 to 30 time frame. I think that is what we are truly talking about in today's episode. We're just going to break all those things down, and hopefully if you are feeling a bit at odds about getting older, this episode gives you a little bit of breathing room, and it hopefully just doesn't seem so scary by the end of this episode. As you know, I'm starting every episode off with our trending topic for the week. This one is a little bit more of a heavier topic, I will say. But I think right now, especially, is a great time to be talking about this. And it's just been, with recent discoveries in the media, I think it has been really amplified on social media here recently. And that is true crime, how we react to true crime on social media, true crime content, just all around. And I really wanted to discuss that today because I feel like we're in this craze of it all, where it's really being perceived negatively sometimes. And don't get me wrong, I'm so happy that we are in a time where we know so much more and we're so much more informed. You have to think about serial killings and murders and all that happened in the 60s and 70s, and no one was informed and no one could be told, and there was no way to tell the masses. So I do appreciate that we are kind of different in that sense, that we do have that way to spread the word, get it out, tell everyone how to be safer in their everyday life. So I do enjoy that, but I think we just need to be more critical about what we're talking about sometimes with these cases, and who we're getting our information from is probably the most important thing for me. Because recently, in the last week or two, someone was brought in for the Idaho murders, all allegedly innocent until proven guilty. Don't want to get into anything messy with that. So I think it brought up a lot of talk about the murders again, which they had been really TikTok mainly, just really going TikTok detective on this case, which is great. Again, I think it's good that we're all informed. But then I saw this weird take, because there is one surviving roommate out of all of that, and she hid in her room, and a lot of people were like, how could you? You should have done something. You should have called someone. You do not know how you will react in that situation. People always want to put on this hero complex, but you have literally no idea how you would react in that situation. You have no idea. Sometimes the pure shock, your body can literally go in shock where all you can do is hide. You can't move. You can't talk. You don't know what, your body just shuts down. Not everyone gets this intense hero adrenaline rush that you think you may get. And so I think we just need to remember that. And it's I watch a lot of true crime creators that'll be I don't want to see any victim blaming in the comments. If you victim blame, then I will block you. One creator that I am going to talk about today when it comes to true crime, she works with families, and so she'll do like family partnered episodes. And so she always says that, she's like, families, they might be reading your comments. They might be watching these TikToks, not because they want to, but because, they've gone through a tragedy and they want to mindlessly scroll on TikTok. And if they see a TikTok where you're victim blaming their family, then that's just not fun. So like I said, I think a big part about it is who you take, like who you subscribe to, who you listen to podcast wise, YouTube videos, all that, TikToks. I want to touch on my couple of my favorite true crime in general. One of these podcasts does a little bit of everything. So one, if you want like a real nice true crime take, like she does her research, she really takes the time to get to know these cases. I'm listening to one of their podcasts right now, and that is Crime Weekly podcast. The two hosts are Stephanie Harlow. She's a great true crime YouTuber, and her co-host is Derek Levasseur. Now, he is the part I really want to touch on in this podcast. He is an ex-homicide detective. He actually won a season of Big Brother. He's had his own show where he revisits cold cases for the family. So with their podcast, you really get a sense of like education, not just on the case, but on crime, detective work, forensics. You really get educational information. And so I'm listening to, currently they're doing a deep dive on the staircase murder. There's like a Netflix special on it, and I'm listening to the podcast that they released last Friday, and Stephanie's like, I'm reading 3 books about this case right now. That is insane. What typical, like, I know there's more out there, but there's honestly not enough people out there that are going to take the time to read 3 books about one case just so they can cover a case for her podcast. So I think she does a great job of truly researching these cases and really breaking it down. And then Derek adds this level of knowledge that you can really, like, it's like an inside, you're getting like an inside scoop. My next favorite is Kendall Ray. She does a lot of good work on her YouTube channel. Her and her husband have a podcast together called Mile Higher Podcast. Now, if you're someone who needs like something to break up the true crime, like you don't always want to talk about like murders and missing people, Mile Higher Podcast is a great podcast for you. They kind of talk about conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, like all sorts of things, which I think also helps break it up. Like Kendall and her husband just had a baby, so they kind of have taken a little bit of a break from that. She still does true crime content strictly on her channel, but they kind of took a little bit of a break, because it is heavy. So I'm not saying completely stop watching true crime. I'm not saying that at all, because I will never stop watching true crime. But I am saying that you need to be mindful of the where you're putting your views and the content that you are assuming. I think one, that's going to help as a viewer and someone who's taking it all in. That's going to help you too as well. It's going to help you to not be bogged down by it. And these 2 people that I mentioned, especially Kendall, she's always working with an organization to donate money for research, whether it's you just strictly donate money or you buy something and the proceeds go there. She's always working with them, and she works with the victims' families for certain cases. So like I said, just be mindful of where you are putting those views. And I think that is what will truly help some of the negativity that comes with the true crime world. So let's jump right in to the meat and potatoes of the episode. Guys, I turned 29 last November. I am staring 30 in the face. And I want to say I'm freaking out about it. And I do have my moments where I am freaking out about it. But the only kind of freak out I have about turning 30 is, am I behind the curve? There's a certain level of comparison that just happens when you get to a certain age. I think, I'm not saying everyone struggles with this, but it can happen. If you would have told me a few years ago that I would be single and basically starting my career plus another career from scratch at 29, I would have been like, you're crazy. you're a crazy person, because that's so intense. And, we all have Facebook, we all have Instagram, we all see what other people are doing our age. And honestly, for me, a lot of content creators are younger than me. There is this level of, am I behind the curve that I experience? Now, there is this beautiful thing about getting older, though, is that I think it kind of, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later. I think there is a scientific, if you think astrology is science, some people do not see it as science, but it's very strong in my spiritual and beliefs. Astrology, if you really start to research it, it is so true. There's a reason why those years leading up to 30 are so difficult. And the reason, I think I hear people all the time talk about 30 as like a sigh of relief. It was so great. It was so amazing. Like, and they really, really enjoy being in their 30s now. Yes, a lot of the things that I was like, let's say I was on track in my career, I was on the right track, I was unhappy. I was in a relationship, probably wasn't the best. And these last couple of years have brought an end to both of those things. And like, honestly, 2022 was like, we're going to shake the whole mess up for you, and you're going to have to build this from square one. But what you build is going to be so beautiful, and you're going to be so happy. So it's going to be worth it. I promise you. Like that's kind of like what 28 said to me. And I'm so thankful. I will never get over how thankful I am for it. But there, like I said, there's just a certain level of comparison that comes with getting older. And I try to combat it with but I know I'm happy. I know I'm happy. I know that I wouldn't want to be in any other place in my life than where I am right now, and I'm literally doing what I love. So it's hard. It is hard, but it's also beautiful in the sense of that. And I can't describe the amount of love I have for myself now, going through all of it. It's just beautiful. So I think that even though it is oh, this isn't where I expect it to be, sometimes there's joy in the unexpected, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I can look at proposals and baby announcements all day long and be like, dang, it would be nice to be there. It would be nice to have that. I didn't have that. I was never one of those people who were like, I have to be married and have kids and be by 30. I never felt that way. But, I was like, I'd have a nice little something career wise, and maybe in a nice stable relationship by 30. Right now, we're not looking too hopeful, but it's okay. It's okay. We're getting there. So I think you have to just drop that. It's your journey that you have to take, but it's just something about this age that makes you want to just, like I said it so many times in my last episode, put the phone down. I honestly should have just said this podcast, put the phone down, because I think that is kind of answer to all our problems. So another thing though, I will say now at 29, starting all these new ventures, I am busy. Okay. So I get up now at 6. I will say 30 is kind of making me, almost 30 is kind of making me a morning person. So I get up at 6. Okay. And I usually try to either read, always journal, or plan a podcast episode. So that is what I do before I start getting ready. Then I get ready for work. Then I'm at work. Then I'm working all day. Then I get home from work. I cook dinner. I'd like to have 5 minutes of sitting in my room with the lights off sometimes, there's all these other things now that I have to do. And then also, tonight it is currently 8:24 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon, and I am recording a podcast episode. So it's now too, because I don't have that stability that I'm it looks kind of like everyone else has. I'm so busy. So it's health wise, things have taken a back burner. When am I supposed to fit the gym in that? Riddle me this. When am I supposed to fit the gym and everything else in the middle of everything else that I'm doing? It's so difficult. And, my mom used to tell me this all the time. It's only going to get harder when you try to lose the weight, and I didn't think that a level of that is also being busier. I'm so busy. When I was 25, 24, working in a restaurant, I kind of had all the time in the world. I could get up early and then sleep the rest of the afternoon, then go to work at 4 and then do it all over again. But now it's I'm so busy. And the best part of it is I love what I'm doing. I love getting up at 6 a.m. with a hot cup of coffee, journaling, reading a couple of chapters of a book, and then getting ready for work. And I love my job. I love going to work every day. And then I love doing the podcast stuff. So it's like I'm busy with everything that I love, but I also need to lose like 40 pounds. Like I need to lose 40 pounds. And so for me, it's not the motivate. Well, I guess it is kind of the motivation, and it's the discipline of it all. And it's because at this age, I feel like I just need to have discipline towards other things. And it goes back to being behind the curve. Like maybe if I would have started this podcast years ago, I'd be in a position of having like an editor, or, not having to work a 9 to 5. So it's like, again, it's like it all kind of ties in together when you get to this weird point in your life where you're like, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. I need to be doing this. Like I'm starting the podcast now. So maybe in 10 years at 40, when I'm staring 40 in the face, I can be like, okay, 29 was hell and very, very busy. But now at 39, I'm living the exact life I want to be living. It is like a catch-22 almost. Like I want to lose the 40 pounds, and everyone's like, after 30 it's going to get hard, after 30 it's going to get hard. But I'm like, where do I fit it in? Where do I put it in my day? And I get it. Like I, for the most part, if I'm really trying to, I can eat healthy all day long. I can stick to my 3 meals, 2 snacks. Like it's just, I like healthier breakfasts too. So it's just, that's super easy. But it's like, I have to be active in a way. Like I can't just like, people be like, oh, I just started eating better and I lost like 20 pounds. I can't do that. I need to go to the gym or have an elliptical in my room that I need to use. So I'm hoping as 29 goes on, I will continue to learn the importance of being a morning person. Like really, that's what it takes, being a morning person. But 6 is already so early. And now you're telling me I need to wake up at like what? 5:30, 5, so I can exercise and then read, journal, plan podcast episodes, go to work, come home, cook dinner, clean, either edit or record a podcast episode. The silence says it all, y'all. The silence says it all. And I know it's all about like, I should just write down a schedule for the week. And I do know that. And I'll get there one day. But it's like, it's not the getting older that's making it hard to lose weight. It's just I'm so freaking busy now. There is one silver lining in the whole situation. When I was 25, yes, I was going and doing early, like going to the gym, eating better, and I was serving. So I was on my feet all day, running around. So it was just kind of easy to keep the pounds off. I hated my body, and I hated myself, and I hated my self-image. And so one of the beautiful things about getting older, like from 28, so after I turned 28, just with what I was going through in life, like now, like 2022 has brought so much self-love. Like I feel like I mean, it's facts. I look better. My hair's better. My makeup's better. I dress better. But not only that, like I just truly love myself. And I truly realize now at this age, you only get this one body. Why fill this one mind, body, and soul with so much self-hate? And why let Joe Blow down the road make me feel any different about how I feel about myself? Why likes? Who gives a damn? I don't give a damn about any likes. Get out of here. I'm uploading this picture because I've stared at myself for 15 minutes and told myself, wow, you are so beautiful for 15 minutes. I watch my story of myself 30 plus times. I don't care about a like. And it's truly because I have built that self-love, because you just get once. Yes, if you believe in reincarnation, then maybe, yeah, cool. Are you going to remember that? Like, I think I have past lives, but I don't remember them. So really, you just get one shot. You just get one shot to love the person you are. That's now. What better time than when you're young to love it? Okay, there might be a couple back rolls back there, but that's fine. There's bigger fish to fry. I think the best part of 28 to 29 was self-love. Was 100% self-love. And all the crap I have learned. All the life lessons I have learned, guys. Everyone talks about this second puberty that you go through at the age of 25, and you change so much after 25. And like, men, they say their frontal lobe develops at 25. Well, I'm about to blow your mind with this piece of information. If you're like me and you do believe in astrology, it's typical. Some astrologers different in their age ranges that they say it in, but it's usually around from 27 to like 29. You're going to go through your Saturn return. And so it's where your Saturn goes back to where it was when you were born. And so it usually takes about 27 to 29 years for it to do it. People usually, if you ask people, they always say it's 28. Like 28 is your year of Saturn return. But I would say at the end of 27, going into 28, yeah, and then probably right before I turned 29, things started to like lift back up. But Saturn in my birth chart is in the house that is like careers, your relation to how you see yourself in those. Yeah, my Saturn return hit that right on the head. And those are the years you are going to do so much internal growth, because Saturn return is going to knock you to your knees. It's going to knock you down. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be hard. And this is just, like, most astrologers will tell you this. It's so clear when you get to the other side. Like, everyone talks about, oh, after 29, after 25, I'm such a different person. No, for me, if you take Deadra November 2021, that's when I turned 28, and Deadra November 2022, those are two completely different people. So my dating episode was last week. So as you guys know, I am single, and I kind of for a while there beat myself up over it and was like, oh, I need this, I need that, I want to be. I don't think Deadra at the beginning of 28 and Deadra at the end of 28 would have been the same person enough to stay. Like, I guess, like, yeah, if he was like my soulmate, we could have made it through, but I am a completely different person. My values are completely different. How I see the world is completely different. Take a shot every time I say the word different or beautiful in this episode, but I don't think it would have worked. And so I think the universe and the stars and all that knew what they were doing. I don't think it would have worked. So yes, it's crazy being so close to 30. The things that I have learned about life and about myself in these last like 2 years is unbeatable. It's unbeatable, and I wouldn't trade it. And I get why people say 30 is like this huge sigh of relief. And I completely see that, because it's like things just start to let up, you know, as you're going out and Saturn's moving out of that return in your chart. I can see that. I can see that. I can see how 30 comes with a lot of clarity. And so I get it. It's scary. I think getting older, it's like, for me now, getting older, it's like the reality of like the people I love getting older. It's not so much more me now, because I have learned so many beautiful life lessons. I've taken the ride. I've taken the roller coaster. I did not enjoy every part of it, but nothing beats the life lessons. Nothing. I said this last week. I want to try to end the episode with some helpful advice, and we're getting towards our song of the week. So we're getting towards the end, and I just want to say this is my conclusion, my piece of advice. It's the journey. And that's so cliche, and I'm so sorry I don't have anything better. As you get older, I think the most important part of getting older is finding happiness within yourself, is finding that self-happiness. And like I said, I don't think this whole I'm 30 and I'm freaking out episode is about 30 itself. I think it's about the lead up to 30. Everyone talks about 30, but no one talks about from 27 and 29 when you're kind of just in an abyss floating in space. I can honestly say I am so happy right now. And I'm not happy because of a job. I'm not happy because of a man or from any other outside source. I am just truly happy because I've worked so hard on me. When I first turned 28, I started doing shadow work, and I would recommend it for anybody. If you, even after 30, but especially at this time frame in my life, like being 29, there's so many things that you can like Google, TikToks you can look up. What I did is I followed someone else on TikTok that was doing 365 days of shadow work. I didn't do 365 days, but I did about 30. And I still use those today to kind of like when I want to journal, but I don't really know what I want to journal about. That's a good way to do shadow work. And I will touch on this on a later episode. I'm going to do an episode all about self-awareness. So I will touch on this again, but I think that's what did it for me. I think that's what got me to this headspace now. And don't get me wrong, I still get sad. Things still get me down. I still kind of feel like I'm floating in limbo sometimes. But shadow has this way of like grounding you in a different sense. It's like, yes, you may have made these mistakes, or yes, you went through this traumatizing thing. We're going to talk about why you subjected yourself to those things, and then we're going to bring you back. I would recommend it for any woman, man, they, them, anybody from the age of like 27 to 30. Do your shadow work. Get a journal and start doing shadow work. And honestly, just journaling in general, I think is a great practice when you're getting this age, at any age. Like, I wish I would have known that younger to journal more. I think sometimes too, it's seeing the growth written down. It's seeing the growth on paper. Like, at the beginning of the year, went back to my journal at the beginning of last year. God, she was sad. Girl, why were you so sad? Stop being sad. But I think a part of that was fixed. And, well, not fixed, but part of it was the shadow work. So my pieces of advice is find your internal happiness with yourself. And I think the best way to do that is with shadow work. I think it's a great thing to implement at this age of the game. I think it's going to teach you so much about yourself before 30. Because I think what I used to be so scared about going into 30 was like, who am I? Am I self-aware of who I am? Am I self-confident in this version of myself now? And so now that I have done all these things and I have found that happiness truly inside me, and I have found like a hobby, like I have a couple hobbies now that make me truly really really happy. Again, God, I hope you guys are keeping up and taking shots every time I say these words over and over again. But once I found that and once I gained that, it was 30 wasn't scary. 30 wasn't scary. But I'm telling you, 27, 28, 29, those are the ages people need to be telling you about. Those are the times. Those are what we need to be preparing the young people for. So if you're listening to this, it's 27, 28, 29. Okay? Not 30. It's not 30. We're going to do great, guys. We'll be good. I need to make a jingle for this part of the podcast so it can start. But first, I want to highlight that I am an amazing playlist maker. I have a great playlist called Clean and Reset on Apple Music, and I'm going to link it in the description for you guys. Side note, I have always wanted to say that, but I am going to link it in the description for you guys. I think it's it's like a perfect like new age take on what our parents would have played when, you know, like your parents, you wake up, your parents are playing class, like their jams from their days, and they're cleaning. This is like my version of that. Now, is it a little bit on the sad side? Maybe, but it's still good. So I think you guys would really enjoy that. Again, it will be linked below, but this song that I am mentioning on Song of the Week is in that playlist. It's by one of my favorite artists. I'm telling you, if I ever see this man live, I'm probably gonna cry the minute he starts singing. But it's Keep Doing What You're Doing by Bryson Tiller. If you have never listened to Bryson Tiller, or you don't listen to Bryson Tiller like that, just go binge his songs because they're so good. So good. But the reason I really like this song is he's basically, it's kind of like someone's talking to him, but he's also talking to that person. It's just all about pushing through and keeping up with what you're working on and really seeing what the people around you see in you. And so my favorite line is, I gave it my best, and that's exactly why I'm here. I think one that's perfect for this episode, because that's all you can do is give it your best, give every day your best, give 30 your best, give the age you're at now your best. It really resonates with kind of what I'm doing right now. Like I said at the beginning, I was, or if I did, I don't know if I said this, but I was very nervous for the first episode to drop. I think this recording of this one is so much smoother because I got the nerves out of the way. All you can do is give it your best. All you can do is give it your best and go from there. I think the universe and life will reward you if you're giving it your best. if you need some motivation and you need to pick me up, that song will do it. I promise you. So that is our song of the week. Again, I'm gonna make a jingle for that. I think that's what we need, a song of the week jingle. So guys, gals, if you are worried about turning 30 or getting older in general, don't be. It's a part of life, and there are a lot of beautiful things that will bring you so many amazing life lessons. If you feel like life is kind of kicking you in the ground right now, please start journaling. If you already journal, but you don't do shadow work, please start doing shadow work. Do what you have to do. Do the things that make you happy. I promise you, getting older isn't as scary as we make it if we just give ourselves the right resources. Honestly, let's give ourselves the right resources, and we're going to kick 30 in the ass, okay? We're going to do this. We got this. So yes, thank you for making it to the end of another podcast episode, guys. And like I said, don't be scared of turning 30. We got this. You guys have a great week. Please do not forget to like, download, play on a super low volume multiple times, review 5 stars only. Please and thank you. I love you guys. Be happy, be safe, and until next week. And I will see you again on, okay, I said too much.